Hello everybody, thank you for joining us today. My name is Gary Patterson and I'm currently serving as the interim superintendent for LISD. It's my honor to be here working with you, and other than COVID, it's been a very enjoyable experience. I want to thank also the Board of Trustees for the opportunity to be here to work with this community and this great school district. This presentation is an effort to speak directly to you, get you updated on our current situation, and share some information about our future challenges. In the short term, hopefully short term, COVID response and mitigation are our top priority and our biggest challenge. I get the privilege to work among superheroes. Our staff is on the front line, our administrators, our teachers, our support staff, nurses, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, custodial, and on and on. They're stepping up in ways that are just inspirational to me. They're coming in earlier, they're staying later. They're volunteering to cover co-workers' duties when others are out. They're giving up lunchtime, conference periods, planning time, time with family after school. We have staff that are traveling to other campuses on their own, administrators going across the district to fill something that the colleagues need help. Our central office staff is going out to cover classes, to help campuses. Nurses working the call center for 10 or 12 hours a day and then callback numbers at night, working on weekends, returning calls, following up. And I know that's frustrating, but please be patient with them as they work the call center. Districts right now are faced with difficult decisions made on the run with an enemy that moves faster and in greater numbers than we have. We're human, we're parents, and we're not perfect in our decision making. It's hard to win whack-a-mole, which is what we're doing. You knock one down and something else pops up. And so that's the way of life right now. Our COVID protocols are still in place. We're trying to move forward, and you'll hear me talk about this to almost any group that I'm in front of while I'm here, is that we're in a time period where our mindset really needs to be, how do we work with COVID? I mean, this short term, we hope we're going to see short-term success in dealing with this variant, but I also understand that some other variants are splintering off the Omicron virus, so we just don't know what's ahead of us. So the decisions that we make here are really important as we deal with the long-term prospect of working with this new situation. Instead of just roller coaster, stop this, close this, manage this, to have a workable plan and communicate that with the parents and community and our staff where we can work through these issues as they come up. So we're doing the best we can with the information we have, and it's difficult at best. So I want to let you know some of the things that we've been doing. We're looking at both student and staff data every single day, twice a day. We're also looking at our positive student COVID cases hovering between 1% and 2%. We've been in mitigation Tier 1 and Tier 2. We're moving into what we're going to call a modified Tier 3. We need to take some steps to ensure the safety and mitigate the spread by every means we have at our disposal. So things like visitors on campus, your campus might, we might have to extend the no visitors on campus coming in for lunch or coming in from other parents want to have lunch with their kids or other visitors during the day. We're going to extend that for a while, short term, until we get a better handle on and can see the data after the holiday that's coming up. We're also going to put a pause on small group work in our elementary schools and centers, just to try to keep these kids from just being face-to-face and close contact, and continue to monitor. We're not putting in place any long-term policies right now. This is moving too fast. We're going to put some policies in and then review the next week and see what the trends are on the data. So small group work, centers, we're going to emphasize physical distancing. We may have relaxed that a bit in the fall. Some of our elementary schools will put some more lunch modifications in. Some of our elementary schools just by the sheer numbers, they're able to space out a little bit more. But we'll be very careful, especially at the elementary school, where we can space our kids out best we can. We'll put in some limitations on just moving around campuses in groups, temperature checks. If appropriate, we'll go back, we'll monitor campuses to see what their case rate is, and we might need temperature checks. Mandatory quarantine of students and staff with positive tests, we've been doing that, but we'll continue to move with that. But what we'll see on the website, we're working on that right now. In the next day or two, you'll see a modified Tier 3 that this will be explained in a little more detail on that. Some of the measures we're taking to try to stem the tide. Of course, our school, keeping our schools open, there's a lot of events that are upcoming, and if you're involved in our schools, which I hope you are, you will notice. We've got field trips scheduled, athletic events, tutoring where students at the older grades go down and tutor with tutor kids at the younger grades, more and more visitor requests. We've got orientations, high school, middle school orientations, middle school visits to learn what middle school is going to be all about when our elementary kids, fifth graders, get to middle school. We've got fine arts recruitment days, we have open houses, and on and on and on and on. So none of that is getting closed down. It's just that we need to continue to monitor and see what we can do safely. Masks, we're going to continue to request masks regardless of your vaccination status. Masks and vaccines do stem the tide. And so we're going to continue to encourage that and so continue to request that on campus. We got clarification from the governor's office and the Texas Education Agency regarding our masks policies and what we can and can't do. So that's been in court if you kept up with that closely. And so we got clarification that as of now and probably for into the foreseeable future, there'll be no mask mandates allowable by our district for our employees or our students. So just to clarify that, testing is a big issue for us. If you're interested in that, if you're concerned at all about that, get in touch with your local campus and talk about having your kid tested, but there will be that option available. We'll request masking, emphasize hand washing, vaccination, social distancing, just being the safest you can. Go back to re-emphasizing all the good things that we did during when we first were made aware of COVID 24 months ago. We need to continue to communicate often and timely and accurately from our offices to you. A lot of misinformation going around, and that's not unusual, but it's a fact. And so if you get information from us, it's going to be fact-checked. The data is going to be accurate, and it'll be the most responsive way you can get information about any changes at your school, your campus, or the district. We'll be sending that information out as quickly as we get it if anything's going to change on your campus. I'd like to also answer some questions we've had in the office about the COVID call center. First, I'd like to thank the nurses and our support staff for all the hours they put in the COVID call center. We've been backlogged, as you know, anywhere from 100 to 250 calls at a time. So we've added as many health professionals as we can. We've opened a callback option, which we appreciate the work on that very much, to make it easier for you to call in, leave your information, and get a call back later in the day from a nurse. We will also be rolling out an online option. There'll be a link on our website where you can go for an online, you fill your information out online, and then you can submit it, and then you will get a plan back from our staff. That should help a great deal. So please be patient with us. I know it's frustrating to stay online and maybe not get a call back that same day, and we hope that these other options we're open up will help you as well. This virus is spreading very rapidly, and we're asking for your patience and understanding as we deal with all the changes with all our campuses, personnel, students, transportation, food service. We've got a lot of moving parts with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and everything doesn't get done just at the snap of a finger or the drop of a hat. And I want you to know that as a district, as administrators, we are fully aware of the burden that's caused to local families when students are home, especially when both parents work, or you have immunocompromised parents, grandparents, or siblings. We understand that. We are parents, we're family, we're in the same situation you are, and we know what that burden is. And so we're working hard to keep school going to keep students in class, to keep our staff in front of the students in this difficult time. And I want to emphasize, all of our staff, regardless of the position that we were hired to do, we were hired to do a full-time job. Come to work early, work late, take care of kids, love the kids, teach the kids, keep them safe. And that was before COVID. So when you pile on the extra stress, the added responsibility, the added hours, take away flexibility, all the extra duties we're asking our staff, and they're not getting paid anymore. So a big thank you to an inspirational staff, an awesome staff that's stepping up under adverse conditions. When there's adversity, you always need somebody to step up. And sometimes that's hard to do. It's hard to get those people in some situations, not in Lewisville ISD, I can assure you. It brings to mind my future son-in-law, who I'm very proud of. His name's Eric, who right now, as we speak, is in the swamps of Florida, where it's 38 degrees and he's waist deep in swamp water, 24 hours a day, sleeping standing up 1 hour a night as he finished his Army Ranger School. He was fortunate enough to get to come home over the holidays, and I asked him, man, how are you surviving that? Because it's just so tough. And he says, you just have to monitor the situation, we have to adjust on the fly, and more than anything else, we overcome. So that's an excellent lesson for me and for us. As we move on, we're an extended family for all children, all in it for the same goals. And as we move forward, we'll monitor, we'll adjust, and we'll overcome. Thank you.